Hey guys, welcome back. In this lecture we initialized our project and we wrote our first code. In this lecture we'll continue and I will introduce you variables. Let's start and we will start the wireframe. Alright, so here's a wireframe I have prepared for you and you can see here how you can write variables. So you need to use special keyword var, then a name of your variable. In this case, I am using a name here, but it can be first name, last name, username. You can use practically anything for your variable name. Then an equal sign and value you want to assign to a variable. So in this case, Philip. So after this assignment, I can use my variable and I can get my value I stored inside of this variable. After this assignment, you can imagine your variable is somewhere in the memory of your computer and it's holding your value you can use in your program, in your application. Okay, I can show it to you. So let's go to our applications. Make sure your development is running on localhost 8000 AD and right click here in a browser. All right, and let's open here a console. Okay, so here we can talk with our computer, with our application, and I can write here some code. So let's say I would like to create here some variable, as I showed you. Let's say variable name, and I want to assign here my name, Philip. From the time after I will assign this value to my variable name, I can use my name variable in my code. So I can reference here name. Okay, now you can see I am displaying my name, Philip. Alright, so I can write here, for example, console log. I can provide here a name, and I will console log my name. You can see Philip here, or I can use here alert, and I can use here my name, and you will see now I'll display here alert with my name. Okay, so I can store values to variables I want to use later, or maybe I am doing some computation and I want to store to variables some intermediate values I need in my computation. Okay, so that's why we have variables. We need to store values. We cannot just write raw values and we don't know what's happening with them, or they just disappear after you will write them. So you cannot reuse them. Sometimes you are using raw values, of course, but variables are very important for storing values and reusing them later, because you can see I can write here something. I can write here 7 plus 7. It's like a calculator, but I have a result here, but what I will do with this result, I can just look at it. But when I will write here, for example, var result equals 7 plus 7, then I will have inside of my result variable 14, and now I can use it in my application, in my program. All right? So let's talk a little bit more about variables. I will clear this out. You can click here on a clear console. This will clear your console. And let's talk a little bit about types. Okay, so what types you have in JavaScript? All right, so you can see here base types. You have a string, number, Boolean, null, undefined, object, and a symbol. To be honest, mostly we'll use strings, numbers, booleans, and objects. Of course, we'll use also null sometimes, undefined, symbols we will not really use. And yeah, so let's see some description of a string. So number for numbers of any kind. It can, okay, this is not a string, this is a little bit mixed up, my mistake. All right, okay, so string is for a string. String may have one or more characters. Okay, so for example, as my name, and I think better than reading this, let's create some variables and then let's read this description. Okay, so for this, we'll go finally to our coding editors. And we'll write here a couple of variables. So I actually can keep this console here, why not? Let's write here a couple of variables. So let's say variable first name. So first name like this. And usually you want to follow this convention. So first word starting with the lowercase, second word starting with the first letter with the uppercase. So first uppercase N and the rest of the word. So first name, let's say I want to store information about the user. So let's say first name will be Philip. All right. So this is string. String can hold any number of characters here. It can be letters, it can be numbers, it can be special characters like this. Okay, so strings can hold practically any character here. Okay, so but I want to specify here my first name, which is Philip. All right. So what else I specified? We have a numbers, right? So let's specify here age. So var age, and this will be my age, so 28. All right, so we have a string. We can also write your comment, right? You will write comment like this, double slash signs. All right, so this slash 2 times, and now you can write a comment. So let's say this is a string. Perfect. Here is a number. All right, then we have a booleans. All right, so let's write your var, and let's say is male. Okay, I'm a male, so I will say is a true. Okay, so boolean can hold only 2 values, true or a false. So this is a boolean, and don't worry, we'll be talking about these types. You will be seeing them in a code, so don't worry, you will learn more and more about them in each lecture. Okay, what else we have? Let's see our wireframe. So we have a string, a number, boolean, and then we have a null. Okay, so we can create a null value. Null is for unknown value. All right, so let's create some null values. So let's say variable, let's call this variable don't know, and this will be just a null value. Okay, so for unknown values, unknown value, okay, you can use null. What else we have? Let's see. Then we have an undefined and an object. Undefined is for unsigned values. Okay, so for example, when you will create a variable like this, let's say variable a, and you will not assign anything, this will be undefined. So let's keep it as it is here, var a. What else here? We have here undefined object. So let's create some object. Object is for more complex data structures. So when you need to save some more values to your variable, you will use object. So let's say var person, and now you can store here multiple values. So as you can see, person equals, and you will use syntax here, curly brackets. Inside of these curly brackets, you can define more data. First, you need to specify here name or a key for your data. So let's say this will be name. So key is a name, and the value for a name will be Philip. Then you will write a comma after. When you want to specify another here value, you need to specify again a key. This can be last name, and this will be my last name. So I will specify here again colon and Yerga. Okay, so let's keep it as we have it right now, and let's see what we can do with these values. All right, I will write up here a debugger like this. And let's go back to our browsers. I will introduce you a little bit of debugging. Now when you will go to your application, and when you will refresh your application, you will see you're jumping into your code. So you can see up here, you can see playground.js. Our browser is running our file and is running JavaScript code we specified into this file. I'll be talking about this process in the next lecture. So for now, just follow me and let's see what we have here. You can see our browser would execute every line of the code here automatically without any interference of us. But when you will write debugger in your code, your browser will take a look on your code. It will start executing each line of your code. So it will execute the first line, then second line, and then we'll take a look here, and you will see the browser will see debugger, and it will stop execution. Okay, so it will not do anything, just hanging here. There is nothing to execute and waiting for our command. So now we can tell to browser to execute next line. You can see here a few commands or a few options down here. For example, resume script execution. This would resume script execution. So okay, this would continue our application to run normally, and we would jump outside of this. Here you can see option to step over next function call, and you can just step to the next line. Okay, so just step on the next line like this when I will click this arrow here. This arrow inside, pointing down here, is step into next function call. We'll be talking about this later, and also about this arrow we'll be talking later. For now, only this arrow is important for us. Step over next function call, which will execute the next line. So here you can see first name, which is undefined for now, because we didn't assign any value. Okay, we are actually on this line, but we didn't execute this line yet. We want to assign to a first name string value Philip. When I will continue execution, so I will step over next function call, you will see I am jumping to the next line, and the first name now holds value Philip. Now when I will go to the next line, you can see variable age holds a value 28. When I will step to the next line, Ismail will hold value true. When I will step to the next line, don't know variable will hold value null. And here, our a variable actually holds nothing. Okay, so this will be undefined. I can prove it too. Okay, I have some problem with scrolling. And here person, let's go to the next line. You will see your person will hold object. You can see object up here, and is holding last name and the name. Okay, so here I specified few variables, and you can check also type of these variables inside of your console. So while your program is running, this is important, while we are running our program, let's go to our console and let's clear this out, and now you can access here your variables. So for example, I specified here first name, so I can access here my first name. Okay, first name is the Philip. Perfect. Then I will use here special code from a JavaScript type of. Okay, you can use type of, and you can provide here a space and a name of your variable. You will see this variable is a type of a string. Let's use this function for all of your variables, please. Okay, so please use this for all of your variables. So let's go one by one. What we have else here? We have the age is male. Okay, so use here type of age. All right, you can see it's a number. Type of is male. Boolean. Type of, let's see, I have a don't know, right? So don't know is an object. Actually, it's very interesting. Null type is an object. All right, so let's see one more time our sources. Yeah, don't know holds a object. Very interesting. When we will type don't know, you will see it's a null value, but the type of a null is an object. Good to know. All right, and then we have a variable a. So type of a, like this, undefined. All right, because we didn't define any value to variable a. Perfect. And oops, by the way, I'm going here. Let's see sources, and then we have a person. So you can guess what we will print out here. So type of and a person, and as you can guess, this object. Okay, I know it doesn't make much sense right now why we are talking so much about variables, but later you will see you will use all of these types of variables, and it's pretty useful to know about these variables and what values you can store in them. Okay, so we talked about these 6 types. We will not talk about symbols. If you're interested in the symbols, I can provide you some explanation in a Udemy chat or in my Slack channel, but we will not use early symbols in next 200 lectures, so don't worry about it. Okay, so now we know about variables. We can store some values into them, and in next lecture we'll continue with functions. So you'll start creating some functionality, we will write some more code, and you will learn more of interesting stuff. So guys, I have some mini assignment for you before we will finish this lecture. I will write it here. Just give me 1 millisecond. I will write it down for you. Here is a mini assignment you can do for a next lecture. All right, so here, create all types of variables of your choice, please. Check their types with the type of, or you can console log them, or you can just debug them, or you can alert them in your browser. It's up to you, but please verify you are familiar with all of these variables and you can check their types. So guys, that's an assignment for you. And in next lecture, I see you and we'll talk about functions. So guys, cheers, and I hope to see you next lecture.